I haven't spoken yet because I'm typing, but I'm just saying welcome. Say hello. Oh, I can't even type. I can never type. More haste, less speed. My mother used to say. Doing okay. Good. Right. So I have. I've opened a show. We are live, and I can't. Don't tell me again. Where's the thing that gives you all the stats of who's on? That's the only reason I did this. Right, people. Is this it? No. Yeah, well, just usual thing. This is the bit that I cut off. Hi, Ramsey. The bit that I cut off, and yeah, sound effects. Okay. When we're all going, can you hear me? Okay. Is it all audio and visual working? I hope so. Yeah, good. Hopefully. Hello, Urban Guy 999, and welcome. Eagles, indeed, Andy. And I make no apologies that Crystal Palace will feature. Here we go. So it says 9 eyeballs and 4 likes. And then we got Declan and Ramsey. I like the fact that there's a kind of emerging hardcore, and everyone's welcome to grow that hardcore of people that join us. It's good fun. It is good fun. So, first time you caught a live, Andy, and hopefully not the last. Hopefully you won't be, put off coming on again. So, couple of RGB lights in red. Actually, that's a very good point about RGB lights. So let's just put this on, add to broadcast. Oh, it's got the background needs to be changed. Hang on a sec. This is good, isn't it? I'm changing this as we go. Background colour. And just going to be that colour. There we go, if that works. I hope this stands out. I had some feedback after the last one. Someone came to my talk and said that the colours for the comments didn't display very well on the TV. So I'm aiming for the day when all of this is perfect. But yeah, that'll come one day, hopefully. 2 devices to beef up your numbers. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. If in doubt, log on to as many machines as possible. Anything to help the algorithm and the stats. So, right. Well, what I'll do is what I kind of didn't do very well in the last one, but I'll do better in this one, which is to say hello and welcome to episode 182 of the Phil Swallow podcast, recording live on YouTube. And then there'll be an audio version afterwards. And it is Tuesday, the 27th of May, 2025. Welcome to you all. Right. Now, I've put the agenda onto I suppose it goes in the description of the video. Well, it goes somewhere anyway, because I put it into YouTube. But I don't always follow necessarily in that order. It's just kind of blasting out things. Yeah, please hit the like. Thank you, my man. But one of the things I'm going to decide to lead with is the fact that the computer that is hosting this, well, via YouTube, was only delivered at 2 p.m. this afternoon. And I won't spend too long on this one, but 4 months ago, the problem with the old one manifested itself. And it took that long for Apple to believe me, and for then to get through the whole kind of crawling through treacle of trying to get them to approve a replacement. And I would say that I am very happy with what they supplied, because they took in my 2022 model, Mac Studio, and they give me a 2025 model. Basically, I've got the brand new machine if I walked into the store today. They didn't go to old stock or refurbs or anything like that. So thank you, Apple. It's been painful, but thank you for finally giving me a brand new machine, which was more than double the value that they put on the little slip of paper when I returned it. So there we go. Good evening. Good evening. Evening to me, and an evening to the chatters. I like that. Good evening, chatters. Yeah, good one. There we go, look. Good evening, chatters from Mickey Droyboy. Like it. Right, where are we? So yes, a new computer. I do. If you're, I don't know how many people are Apple related, but I do a Time Machine backup, and that basically meant I could save all my settings and all that kind of stuff when I set up the new machine. And so far, so good. Nice and fast. Hello, Magrat10, and I'm glad you're on, because I remember that you told me that was your YouTube name when we spoke at the talk I did at Sanderstead History Group in April. So, and it was great catching up with you then. So delighted that you could join again today. So Merlin's cat, are you late? No, don't worry. I've kind of done the intro, but I've not really covered too much other than the fact that this is a new computer replacement today. David, so we got welcome, David. First time viewing on the live chat. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much indeed. I have to say the feedback I get, the comments I get, make it all worthwhile. I've had some brilliant comments, certainly over the Shirley videos. Come on to them a little bit later. So yeah, welcome to all. Right, so let's start, and let's make sure I can still keep an eye on the comments as they come in. Shirley Wickham 1 and 2 was fantastic. Thank you very much, sir. Really appreciate that. And I'll be honest, I didn't know how interesting is the wrong word, how much kind of history and how well it would come across, I suppose. I did it I did it once and did it again, but it didn't seem to matter too much. And it just shows you that in just walking along Wickham Road, there's 101 stories. And then I slightly diverted a bit on the second one, and there's another 101 stories. So I had the pleasure of meeting my dad. He's using my YouTube. Oh, right. Okay. Now, he did explain. Yes, he said, I think that he would be watching the telly and you would be doing the comments. So, yes, it was a great pleasure meeting your dad. So thank you very much for that. So let's get it out of the way. I've got the red and blue surround, which hopefully you can see. Crystal Palace won the FA Cup. After the last show, just got through the semi-final. Got tickets for the final. Couldn't get one for Sue, unfortunately. But went with my son and his group. We got really good seats. In fact, on a number of the videos, we are visible because we're on the first row behind the wheelchair platform. And where they unveiled that tifo, that lovely story of the two lads who lost their father behind the goal, we're at the top. We kind of reached out to see if we could lift it up any further, but the guy who was organising it said, no, don't worry. So we're in a number of videos. Graham, right, okay. And it was a day like no other. It was my birthday, which really made it very special for my birthday. And I had the day planned out, went up to Covent Garden, then walked up to Euston Square to get the tube up to Wembley. Had a bit of food, met my son and daughter-in-law and others in the pub, went to the ground, and literally, as they say, the rest is history. But yeah, the mixing of fans with the Man City fans was great. They were all really good, really friendly. And I couldn't really say it before, but I can say now, I never doubted that we were going to win the FA Cup. I've been to both finals before, including the replay in 1990, went in 2016. In both cases, we had an advantage, but it never quite felt that we were going to do the job. So we did it. We got it done, and it was absolutely amazing. Got back late-ish. We stopped for some food in Piccadilly Circus and then the tiredness kicked in. But the adrenaline was going, but the legs and stuff were worn out. So that was that. And then thank you for my belated birthday, and I like this. Can't beat a walk and talk. There we go. Thanks, Declan. So that was one thing. It would have been nice if they'd had a parade fairly soon after, but that was a bit of a, I don't know. We may never know the details behind it, but it was a fairly short parade yesterday. But on Sunday, I went to Liverpool to see Liverpool play Palace. And again, what an incredibly special day that was. Lord Geoffrey Harrison, Palace won. Yeah, yeah, everyone heard it. Firstly, on the final, they said that we probably had so many fans apart from our rivals, because a lot of people don't really like Man City or are rivals of Man City and all that sort of stuff. So across the country, there was this wave of Palace positivity. So, yeah, I mean, that 10 minutes, and I've seen a video where it starts with the 10 minutes of stoppage time. But anyway, going back to Liverpool. So got the train up there, 4 and a quarter hour train direct from Euston. Got speaking to a Dublin-based Liverpool fan, a retired lady, and it was great. We spoke like I do in here, but spoke like a house on fire. It got on like a house on fire, spoke forever. And the journey seemed like half an hour. Thanks, David. Appreciate that. There we go. Brilliant. Thank you. Yeah, so we covered everything. She was at Hillsborough, so we were talking about some of that. And then I got a bus. They do these buses from just away from Lime Street Station to take you to Anfield. A couple of quid. You queue up and get on a bus, and they just continually on a kind of round robin thing. And the bus, I got chatting to a guy on the bus, an Irish guy. Had his brother lives in Herne Hill, so we were chatting about that. Lovely fellow who wanted a selfie with me because I have my Palace shirt on, and we just brilliant, lovely, friendly, warm people. And then the bus didn't take us that near to Anfield, so we had to walk from the bus up towards the ground, the stadium. And they were preparing the route where they do a kind of big welcome with the, these big pyrotechnic flares and smoke bombs and all that sort of smoke canisters, that stuff, red smoke. And they were already kind of lining the road for the Liverpool team just to go up to the ground for, to play the game. And a lot of Liverpool fans, all Liverpool fans really. And I thought, well, I could take a couple of pictures, do a bit of video, but it's kind of their party. I'll just carry on walking and go to the stadium. And I'd only just started walking, and guy just walked up to me, shook my hand, said, "Brilliant news for Palace, well done, congratulations on your first trophy." And that was repeated all the way up the hill, all the way around the stadium. Liverpool fans are walking over and just saying, "Well done," shake your hands. Some saying, "Glad you smashed Man City," and all that sort of stuff. Well, beat them. A warmth that was genuine, and I don't think I ever thought I'd see that, really. It was so well done. Irish can talk to anyone. Oh, it was great. Even me, mate, even me. And even in the ground, I mean, Palace scored first, and a load of Liverpool fans that had joined the away section all applauded us. It was just weird. So we kind of paid it back by staying afterwards to see the trophy lifted, because, to be honest, it was a good opportunity. I don't know we'll ever see the Premier League trophy being lifted and all the, razzmatazz around that. So it was really, really good. Got back at about 1 a.m. Monday morning, and then out the house about 10:30. Got my spot to record the parade yesterday, but I only did it on my camera yesterday. My kind of proper camera, as I put on my Facebook post. Dive on there if you want to see the pictures. I put a whole album on there. And yeah, they got some nice comments on those, and sometimes let others do the video. There's enough video footage of it, so just capturing that moment in still camera sometimes can be quite good. Yeah, we've never seen the same taste and success. Yeah, I mean, I suppose we've joined an exclusive club now, haven't we, of actually winning our first major trophy. So yeah, quite something. And as I say, it was going from the cup final and birthday, and then we had various things to do in the week. And then obviously, going away on Sunday, parade yesterday. I think it's all done now. I was going to put my shirt on today, but I've got a couple of things. I can never get this right because it's all in reverse. But you can see the South London and Proud, and then the bag. These are basically paper bags from various bits of merchandise that I bought in the Palace shops. So, yeah, well done, Palace. Absolutely delighted to be part of it, really. So, first game at Selhurst Park was a 1-0 win against Man City. Johnny Jackson in goal. Saved a penalty. Follow-up shot. Wow. Marvellous. Good memories there, Ramsey. So, yes, I'm going to pop back to the Shirley videos. It's one of these where I don't know why I didn't do them earlier. If I thought that, I would go around in circles, but because it's literally up the road from where I am. I did the Shirley Hills one after the fire. Will I go to an away match in Europe next season? Yes, that's the plan. I think it's 8 guaranteed fixtures because Palace are in the group stages. And I think it depends, obviously, who we're drawn, where they are. But talking to Sue, we're going to see if we could maybe have a kind of mini break around it, around them, because I think is it Thursday nights, so you should be able to get maybe a good deal, a couple of nights or whatever in European city. So yeah, that's the plan, Anthony. Yeah, to go across to see some European football and a bit of sightseeing. Yes, so Shirley, brilliant that. Again, people jump on the comments, gave me some extra detail. I think Gemma gave me some information. And then I realised I had the book on my shelf that I probably should have looked at first. But anyway, you guys don't mind. And so I filled in the detail and added to that by going to take in Shirley Poppy Bethlehem and more lodges. There's just lodges everywhere. Can't move for lodges. Yeah, it was thoroughly enjoyable. And a few days prior to the first video, I'd been to West Wickham, and every single time I go to West Wickham, particularly when it's sunny, the sun shines on I think it's the northern side of the street, High Street. I almost don't want to spoil it too much, but there is the most wonderful architecture and history to elements of West Wickham that, I suppose I do this a lot in my videos. You go past these things every day, but do you really know the story? Some people may not care for the story, but I like to tell the story. That's why it all fits together. So, really looking forward to West Wickham. I think the only thing is that I may break it down a bit. I may do it in 2 halves, a bit like the Shirley one. It depends on the research, and I don't like putting out super long videos unless they're really worth it. But I mean, you tell me, would you prefer to wait a bit longer and have a longer video that covers all of it? Or I kind of feel I want to break it down. It could be that there's a bit about the High Street, and then there's beyond the High Street, the old fire station, the library that have done some really nice work because they've brought the old into the new. That'll be opening up soon. So yeah, it's but West Wickham, looking forward to that. Oxted was mentioned recently. Oxted is definitely on the list. So we shall wait and see what research I get done soonest to then decide when I go out with the camera. Right, what we got here? Do we know if Palace will publish a book featuring the lead up to the FA Cup final? Yeah, I'm not sure. Someone was saying online today about there was that kind of film that Palace did about the playoffs that took a long time coming. I mean, nowadays everything's recorded, isn't it? So I guess there will be something. Prefer shorter videos with an anticipation of a part 2. Well, here we go then, a series. It's easier for me to do. I also have done the snippets. I've got a couple of other snippets up my sleeve to do, which is really where I can just go one subject and just do it. And as I mentioned, I think in the previous video, when I did the Gardener's Pleasure Resort down at Kennley, I ended up doing that as a kind of voiceover to footage and photos. But I'm that kind of went down okay as well. So might I guess I've got options. I've put out there a number of different options to kind of mix it up, and that's not with any great science behind it. It's just the way it happens. So building the Marks and Spencers is in, as in. Do you mean the one in West Wickham? Yes, you do mean the one in West Wickham, Marks and Spencers. Well, there was a dairy behind that, and there's still references to it as you go and park your car in the car park. Just watch the time limit in there. So the dairy is going to feature as I say, the architecture, the symmetry, Art Deco style, different parades that make up will feature. I think the pub's got a bit of history to it on the end, and it's a palace pub. And also on the very corner, because it's Wickham Court Road, so there's a kind of clue to its history. So yeah, there's all sorts of things will come out, and I'll keep you in suspense until that happens. Restaurants of Oxted. Tom Parker Bowles reviewed the Gurkha kitchen and recalled the story of the bombing of Oxted Station by suffragettes. Blimey. Yeah, I've done some very high level tentative research into Oxted. And normally with the research I have different plates spinning. So I've got a meeting that I need to schedule next month with the guys behind the Tatsfield video, so that we do Tatsfield Part 2, because there's some interest building up on that, and that's been quite well viewed. So that'll come through. The only thing, Mickey, is I've spoilt that for you now by... no, I haven't spoilt it. I will cover it more in detail when I go to Mark's, when I go to West Wickham. What else is on my very, very rough agenda? Oh, yeah, again, you probably saw... I did a little Palace video. I recorded some bits when I spoke with camera, but there's a whole industry of football vloggers out there, and I didn't really want to be one of them. I didn't want to branch the channel too far, so I did what I did for when we attended the Kew Queen Elizabeth coffin procession back in 2022, where I picked a track that I wanted to be the kind of the feel for the video, and then made the video clips and footage and images fit the track. Hopefully things happen in the right time. So that was what I wanted to do in 2022. Went down quite well for the Kew, and it was a similar thing for the Palace one. Picked the song, but my daughter said that was a bit emotional, but I said, well, that's what I was after. It was an emotional day, and I wanted to try and capture some of that in a really nice track. So there we go. So a comment from David here. So love reading about Shirley, lived there 64 to 94, look forward to a video about West Wickham. Brilliant. Yeah, so I mean, my aim is really to cover all of the areas where there's likely to be some history and a story worth telling. And I've actually, with some of the areas that I've covered quite a lot, I've almost managed to kind of join the boundaries from one video to the next. I mean, again, it's not precise science. In some cases, the land's not... there's nothing to tell or say about it. So I Shirley leading to West Wickham, it might just stay there as the kind of boundary, because West Wickham's quite connected to Croydon. I want to do some more at Coulsdon. When did we do... Oh, I had... I don't know if you guys have seen the video I made about 3 years ago. David Gloyn and you were involved in Selsdon Players. Wonderful. Brilliant. See, look, we just join people together in the channel. I made a video in 21, 22, Farthing Downs. I actually supplemented it with some summer video on a really hot day. I think it was 22. Anyway, it's on my channel, Farthing Downs. And I went round with Tom Oliver, the ranger, one of the rangers from the City Commons team that look after that wonderful, wonderful site. And he gave a talk at the Bourne Society in May. So I do the technical stuff there. So we were just kind of setting up and connecting the wires and all that sort of thing. And he said to me that this person came up to him when he was out doing his job. And he said, I know you. And Tom said, okay, because he must meet lots of people. He said, no, he said, I saw this video you made and it made me want to move down here from the north of England. So I thought, we'll both claim that. That's a claim to fame. Someone saw the video that we put together where we told all about, well, he told mostly of it, about Farthing Downs, and someone moved house here on the back of it. So there you go. Didn't have that on my list of targets when I first started doing this. So that was really, really lovely to see. So that was that. So yes, my talking season is done until September. That was quite hard. It took a lot of time. I think I had 3 brand new talks to do, and it takes a lot of work because you're kind of researching or researching before you actually are able to put it into slides and tell it to people. So I think I've only got 2, maybe 3 towards the end of the year, and they're ones that I've already done. They'll always get tweaked, and there's always things that turn up that I add into them. But it's the focus now is on, just in case Sue's watching, is on booking a holiday or 2. We'll get that done sooner rather than later. We want to go to Scandinavia, possibly do a railway holiday, our own version of a Michael Portillo trip, but without the bright coloured trousers. So yeah, there's that, and also more videos, whether of all shapes and sizes, that we've already kind of covered here and discussed here to a degree. So what else have we got? Computer problem, I've explained it. This is the new computer. You won't notice any difference whatsoever. It's faster, it's got a much faster processor and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. How many more will move down because of me? Well, the thing is, what I haven't got is a stat for how many people have moved away, because we might have shown the area in such a light that they don't want to know and they'll run for the hills. But I don't know. I think there are many things that I'll take from doing this stuff, but an appreciation of what we've got, the history. We're connected to these kind of big suburban town growth through railways and Victorian society and all that kind of stuff. I've used the word stuff a lot today, but we've got a great area that we live in. We're on the turn out the road one side and you're out into the countryside, or down the coast, and the other side you're into town. But having peeled back some of the layers and understood some of the stories, I think it's amazing. Right, so what we got? Used to live in Downs Road, opposite Farthing Downs. Is a video on here. Yes, Stuart, it is. So if I put some of my videos are in more than one playlist. So when you go onto the main sort of channel page, or if you just kind of click through to playlists, it's either going to be it'll definitely be under Walk and Talks. If you date sort it, you're looking about 3 years ago. Possibly on Country Walks, and I think I may have a geographical one for I break down some of the areas like Chelsham and Mallingham and Hamsey Green or something like that. There may be one for Coulsdon, I'm not sure. If not, I'll create one, but because we've got Old Coulsdon now, because Carol kept asking me. Oh, there's Carol. Thanks for joining, Carol, and I've got more to do in Coulsdon, don't worry, it's going to happen. So what else have we got? Computer problem done. I'm not going to do that anymore. Palace, I'm not going to do anymore unless I'm asked to. The viewing, because this channel doesn't relate to things that are happening here and now. It's not a news channel. The pattern of how people look at the channel is a bit odd sometimes. It can go quietish, and then it'll just take off and go mad. I get stats every week of how many times videos have been shared, and it'd be like 30 or 40 times, but I don't know where. But you can sometimes tell that something's been shared to Facebook, a big Facebook group or something, and then I'll just get all these viewing numbers come in. But the Shirley stuff it was a weekend for my Shirley videos, because both of them, the numbers just went chum. So lovely, wonderful. River Wandle, yes, have thought about it, haven't done anything. Briefly, what was the video we did? It was a couple of years ago, I think, my November refresh on Croydon. We went into Wandle Park and briefly touched it, but didn't touch the River Wandle, but briefly talked about it and filmed it. So there'll be one there. But Graham, who accompanies me, he's often kind of working behind the scenes, and we meet up for a coffee and a kind of informal planning session. He keeps asking me to get the River Wandle story going. So, and also there was a lot of feedback about the rivers, River Beck and the Ravensbourne and those kind of rivers that are in the West Wickham area. So other video channels, other YouTube channels have done it, like John Rogers and co. But yeah, I might do my own take on it at some point. Where are we? Pestering. Encouraging. There we go. Good. Lots of nice mutual greetings and stuff like that in the comments. I don't think I've missed anything so far. But yeah, the bank holiday weekend, great for stats. A bit quieter today, but I think because I don't follow the news, where their profile is probably big spike and then it'll just sort of tail off because it's done, the story's done, and there's another story that comes along. But I've got no control. It's just, it is what it is, and people find stuff. However, I think, YouTube suggests things, Google can suggest things if you sort by video results. I don't know how. I've had old school friends who got in touch with me about, and I've not seen since I left school. They've moved away, but they found stuff through the channel, which is wonderful. It's interesting how the algorithm works though, because I watched a video the other day, and I have on my YouTube autoplay where it might just go to the next video, and I hadn't selected the next video. I was watching something American thing, I don't know what it was, but I walked away. I know, put the kettle on. It was on in the kitchen. And I heard my voice. So YouTube had thought that I might want to watch my own video about Shirley that I recorded the other day. Marvellous. So, shame the cafe and swing boats are no longer there. This is Farthing Downs. Remember back in the 70s, looking towards London, you could just about see the post office tower and no other tall buildings. So, Stuart, if you get to look at my video on Farthing Downs, when I recorded it, I took most of my stuff. I just use my GoPro. If I want a quick zoom in on something, I use my iPhone. Does a good job. But when I recorded that one, I went full gear. I took my tripod and it's this. This is a Sony camcorder, 4K camcorder that I use for this now. And I used that to record some footage where I zoomed in from the, what's that? Is it the Folly or something? What the very top of where there's a convergence. There was originally 4 trees, and now there's a bench and a signpost in Farthing Downs, right at the very top. Answers in the comments. So basically, I recorded from there, looking towards London. I think I did a pan. I can't remember. But if you have a look on there, you'll see that video. But yeah, I think the swing boats and the cafe long gone. It's just cafe building is still there, but it's just a residential property now. James, share the Shirley video for me in a few groups. Hopefully it helped. It did, James. And I remember seeing your name on Facebook against the posting of the video. So, and Graham sent me a link. He said, "Oh, did you know this has been shared?" And I said, "Well, no, great. It all helps." And Sue noticed it, my wife, so she commented, put my little @ on there. So no, that was very, very much appreciated. Thank you. So 2 daughters live in the new builds where the church used to be, looking onto Wandle Park. Okay, quite different now. Did I watch it back? Haha. Yeah, it's funny. I think when it suggests a video and it's me, I thought, in some ways I want to let it play, because you kind of, the algorithm likes it more if you watch all of it. But it's I don't like to game these things. I think it's you kind of, you never quite know what's going to happen when you put a video live. One of the things I did read up on how the YouTube algorithm works is that people get notified. Hopefully you all put your little bell on the notifications. If not, that's your action for following it. I'm sure you do. So that you could be notified and it will just go into your subscription list. But if you do the bell, then you'll actually get a notification to say a new video has been uploaded. Members of my channel, they get to see the video before everyone else. I publish it for them before it gets published to everyone. So if you want to consider joining as a member, I'd be much appreciated. No, I would appreciate it and be very grateful. Its details are in the join thing at the bottom of the videos. And now I completely lost my train of thought. Yes, algorithm. So, and it basically said one of the things that can really drive videos' performance is that if people who've been notified that the new video's dropped and start watching it and stay watching it, it suggests there's worthy content on there, content of interest. They don't want to just say, delete, move on. They want to say, oh, this could be interesting. I'll watch the whole video. And if that happens, YouTube thinks, oh, there's some content here that people are sticking with, sticky content. So they suggest it to more. So it'll appear on the right-hand side of your video list on the YouTube screen, and it will automatically, like happened to me in the kitchen the other day, it will perhaps pop up if people have got autoplay set on. So so that's one of the tricks. And of course, why would YouTube even do that? Because YouTube plays ads, and ads earn money for YouTube, and they give me a very tiny bit for each one, and it is tiny. But anyway, it's a business at the end of the day, isn't it? It's free to watch these things, but they run ads unless you subscribe. So unless you go premium, sorry. Right, what have we got here? Chawden Church, yeah. Went to Chawden Church a few weeks back now. Sue and I went there. It's amazing. That mural is obviously the standout feature, although there's some nice stories around. Someone said there's some interesting graves in the graveyard, but it's a nice sort of quiet setting there, and some of the stained glass windows quite nice in there. But yeah, the mural's got amazing story. Moderating for a music streamer on Kick. Okay, Andy, thank you very much, mate. So yes, don't know what to do about the mural. There is some stuff online about it. There's a video that someone put together, I think they had commissioned, and it tells a story, sort of brings to life some of the parts of the story of life, or tree of life, or anyway. We used to go to a cafe sweet shop and buy an eighth. So is that like, I remember getting, is that 2 ounces? It might be. Anyway, way out sweets, half a quarter. I remember getting 2 ounces of sweets. Nowadays you think, well, that's like 2 sweets or something. Anyway, thanks Andy. Eagles like it. Right, so what we got? Ramsey, another suggestion. Video about celebrities that lived in the area, such as Ronnie Corbett, Kirsty MacColl, Peter Cushing, Kate Moss, David Lean, Kelly Shirley, Roy Hudson. Yeah. That would probably be an interesting one, where we can make reference to the actual house. I did point out June Brown's house when I did the video of South Croydon, former Doc Cotton of EastEnders. So evening to you, Mark. Thanks for joining, mate. Always watching full because it's good content. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much indeed. Yes, always watching full. Or put it on and then go make yourself a cup of tea, and it implies that you've watched it in full. No, I'm joking. Hopefully you know my humour by now. So there we go. Epsom Downs, good place to see London on a good day, referring to the car park where the beacon is. Yes, that is very good. Friend of mine lives over there. We played golf a couple of times over there on the golf course, and yeah, there's some lovely views up there, really nice. Tatsfield video connection with EastEnders, yeah, the late David Scarra. When I met with a guy the other day who's in the video at the end, he owns Beacon Shore, the story of Donald MacLean. He was saying that there's meant to be a ghost story relating to the gunpowder plot at the church at Tatsfield, so we'll look to mix that in somehow. 2 ounces, there we go, 2 ounces of sweets, good. I do remember it well. J. Forbes, Hamsey Green. Does anyone remember J. Forbes, Hamsey Green? I may not have any Hamsey Green people on here. Used to be a sweet shop. I think it's a hairdresser's now, aren't they all? I think it was a pine furniture shop for a while. He died some time ago. I tried to look into his history. By his age, he must have served in the war or done some kind of important job. Jock Forbes. We knew him as Jock Forbes. It was J. Forbes, the sweet shop. But yeah, he had all the big jars of sweets, and then you would ask for whatever you wanted, and he would hope that it wasn't one at the top shelf, but he'd get his little steps if it was, get one from the top shelf, weigh them out. Great memories. And that was the same shop that we would take back our, I don't know, Corona pop and get money back on the bottles. So there we go. Jane from Airline, a few doors from me. I know she's a celebrity. Yeah, Jane. Well, Jane's had a second career, hasn't she? Didn't it start from... We watched the original Airline when Jane was on there. I played golf with her brother James for a number of years up at Selsdon Park. He moved away now. Still keep in touch. So I knew that connection. And then I think her daughters were posting stuff on TikTok relating to her mum when she was on TV. And then she's now got another career. I think she was over at the Eurovision the other week. Same day as a cup final, so we know what won there. So video on Croydon Parish Church and Old Palace. Yeah, Croydon. Do you know what? Actually, you've given me a thought there, Stuart. Because if we're talking Croydon Minster, I'm sure we are. David Morgan gave a talk to us at Sanderstead Local History Group a couple of months back. Really good talk. Very engaging, very entertaining. Lovely slides, lovely story. And we actually interact quite a lot on social media, on Blue Sky. So maybe we could get him. I always think this sometimes. If the research would take more time than I've ever got, then I think, who may be interested from that group or that place or that Farthing Downs, for example, who could just come on camera. And I try and just keep people at ease. I'm just going to click this mic on you and we'll have a chat. That's all it is. And then we put the video together, or I do. Good fun. So, Sandrock Sweet Shop, opposite Sandrock Hotel Pub, Upper Shirley Road, up from school, John Ruskin. Keep up the great work, Howard. Thank you very much, Howard. Yeah. I think this is so many people, we quite a populous area that we live in. I think that's the word. And many people have branched away, moved away, overseas often. And I get some lovely comments from people who've moved away, found me, subscribed, and enjoy where I might go back to areas that they once knew. It's a nice little kind of nostalgia trip back. So that's why I favour the grid maps when I'm doing a lot of the videos, because they're so descriptive. Where they had about the Shirley Men's Club and things like that. So I tend to use those as a really good basis for my research to then go out and tell the story. So that'll feature a lot in the West Wickham video, because in that time, in the 1950s, it was a good kind of point where not too much had been redeveloped after the war. It was in the 60s that came. So they're a good kind of point in time map available on the National Library of Scotland site. So yes, I'm not going to rule out Croydon Parish Church. Old Palace depends on what happens with that, really, because it's going to be no more. I am connected with the Croydon Natural History and Scientific Society, so they will have some contacts and maybe have a chat with them about it. A freebie from EasyJet, nice one. Viewpoint at Epson Downs better than one at Shirley Hills. Probably different, Ramsey, rather than anything. Different angles, different views, but I think a lot of the time you'd still be able to pick out certain features. I mean, the one Shirley Hills is really good, actually, because on a clear day you see the Wembley Arch, and that's like miles away. That's where Crystal Palace won the FA Cup recently. Any excuse. Right. Okay. Right, Karen. Margaret is a reference to the late author Sir Terry Pratchett's character Margaret Garlick. Right. Thank you for that. That's good to know. I'm not sure if I missed a comment that you might have made earlier. Epson Downs, yeah, you mentioned that one. Playing football against John Ruskin's school. Ground floor of the Windmill was the away dressing room. It was, I think, for a long time when the school, well, the Windmill was part of the school grounds. I think it was used for a bit of everything, wasn't it? Like a storeroom and changing room, whatever. It had various uses. And now it's kind of got its own place and it's opened once a month. I don't think I've ever done the tour there. I've photographed it, but I've never done the tour. I'll have a word with Tony from CNHSS who looks after that. People still turn their nose up when I say I live in Croydon. Yeah, you know where we are, Mark, because I know you're not far from me and the road. I always say we live on the outskirts, and I always tell the story of someone years ago at a barbecue or something, and one of the members of the family we don't see too often, they live down in, and it's not that far away, but they thought they saw CRO postcode and thought, okay, we're going to have to go into Croydon, and this is perhaps when it was slightly better. But their sat-nav just put it in, and of course they came across country. It brought them along Featherbed Lane to then turn into our road. And they were very pleasantly surprised that they could get to a CRO address and just be surrounded by greenery for the whole journey. So it's how you sell it, I think. Say we live very much on the outskirts, and if we go out of our road and turn left, we're in the countryside, and if we turn right, we're in a traffic jam or something. How you sell it. Right, view, yes. So better view at Epsom than Shirley, especially if the weather's good. That's the key. It's quite hard sometimes to pick the right weather, because you might go out and think it's a nice still sunny day, but that's when all the kind of, you see the, I don't know, smog or humidity or whatever. If it's a blowy day but sunny, that's probably where you're going to get a slightly better view, a longer distance. Okay. I didn't know the Lenny Lawrence bit, but yeah, Lenny Lawrence, Steve Kember and Roy Hodgson. Okay. Right, Ramsey, I'm going to come back to you, and we'll have to have a research catch up. Epsom viewpoint, you can see the City of London to Heathrow. Pretty good. Yeah, I think, is it the first Sunday of the month or something like that the Shirley Windmill is open. Interesting story to that, from what I heard on a presentation. So, but I'm sure they tell that when you actually go around there. So, right, where else am I on my very rough agenda? So, Tatsfield I have mentioned. I still haven't done anything on the water history. I honestly can't decide how I want to do that. So probably what I need to do is start filming it in order of the various locations that make up the story, and then decide whether I like it and what I might want to do differently. It wouldn't be the first time where I've gone out and done something twice, normally through a technical malfunction, but sometimes just because when you've put it live, that's it, it's live, people are watching it and consuming it. So I always think, get it as happy as you're ever going to be with it before you actually put it live. That's my theory. Gareth Southgate lived in, is that Wagtail Gardens? So that'd be on Selsdon Vale. Parents still live there. Oh, okay. I don't think he's found a job yet since he finished his England contract, has he, Gareth? I know he opened the Palace Academy. I still haven't done anything on the Forge. Need to do that. Need to visit those guys. And Hewett's in Caterham. That's probably going to be a voiceover video when I get going. But I don't know what I've done there. Okay, so that is very much the kind of rough agenda. I mean, I'm always storing up things. So there's elements of South Croydon I want to do more of. Certainly around the South Park Hill Road area, there is the most beautiful houses around there, beautiful properties. So they want to do a little wander around there. Bit more on Park Hill because some of those properties are still there. Where else was it? I was going to revisit Purley and Kennley. Probably still need some more coverage. So yeah, it never ends. Suburban Croydon is where we live. Got a field outside my front door. Look to the right, I can see the City of London. Brilliant. Post office, yeah. I mean, they post offices, banks. I don't know. When I was a kid, I thought you got to know these things. They'd already been there a number of years, and you thought they'd be there forever until technology and other advancements come in. Water Tower in Park Hill, well worth a visit externally. Yeah, so that will 100% feature in my story of Croydon Waterworks and water history. It is a lovely building, and I've got some cutaway diagrams and some nice LiDAR images that show the covered reservoir next to it, which I'm not sure people always fully appreciate was there, but there's a circle of trees around it. Anyway, I'll be wandering over there and filming it so you'll see it all. And of course, the pumping station at Surrey Street will be one of the first or early features. The video is going to start with where people got their water before there was no proper clean pumped supply. If you know, you know. If not, you'll have to wait for the video. Right, so Rocky Valentino. Hi, me and everyone. Does anyone remember Roke Secondary School on the A22 Godstone Road, bottom of St James's Road? I'm just trying to think. I mean, I know the area, Rocky. Is it been redeveloped now? Is it kind of flats or something? A new housing of some description? I mean, that is often the case. 25 watching, but only 5 likes, 2 of which are mine. Hit that thumbs up. Yes, please do. The numbers have gone down. The numbers are moving around. People are jumping on and jumping off again. I'm so sorry. I do my best. Yeah, so I'll go back to that. If anyone remembers that school on the A22. Kennley. Actually, I've got a video that possibly can cover that area. It's kind of, the only thing is it's down the hill and then back up again. So either I do one at the top and cover Peter Cushing's house that's got the blue plaque outside there. Lovely house. I've never been able to get a ticket for an open house tour of that in September. People get in so early on those. Yeah, because there's that parade of shops with the Kennley Hotel and all that kind of thing, and I believe it's one of the original kind of station houses at Kennley Station. So there's enough going on there to tell a story. So yeah. Hubby went to Roke in Little Roke Road. So I parked in one of those roads when I went to do the filming for the Gardeners Pleasure Resort, but it was in one of those areas. Hard to park sometimes down there. But I feel that's particularly as when I do the water history, it doesn't really cover Kennley or Purley because they were kind of over the border. They were more Surrey water, because there used to be the waterworks where Tesco's is now. Kennley does all the pumping. There is probably some apparatus underneath Tesco's, but all the main water activities further along Godstone Road now. Oh, Purley Vale Road. Okay. Yeah, so I think that's an area that's got some stories, but I haven't really fleshed them out just yet. Peter Cushing was born in Kennley, although I don't know which road. Oh, okay. Is it true that Douglas... Right. Now, I know who you mean. And I've forgotten his name. But yes, the pilot, Douglas Bader. That's who you mentioned. You meant, innit, Jeff? Anyway, he was in 242 Squadron. They were based at Kennley for a while, I think. But regardless, in his very early flying days, he did fly to Kennley or in that general area. If you look up Kennley Revival website and do a little search within the website for Douglas Bader, you'll get all the information there. So yes, there is a connection between Douglas Bader and Kennley. Right, along with pals at Holmesdale Online, we interviewed David Gold in his mansion. Lovely fellow. He said the boys at Say Palace in 2010 were sitting on the same sofa as us a few weeks previously. So David Gold was West Ham, wasn't he? Move this around. Yeah. And I think he had a golf course in his garden, didn't he, David Gold? Douglas Bader stationed at Kennley for a few weeks, yeah. So, video about Peter Cushing went to Purley High School for boys. Oh, okay. Yeah, so that house that's at the top of St James's Road with the blue plaque, there's the open house scheme every September. I think if you register, then you may get earlier access to when the kind of invitations come out, or they publish a kind of whole list of properties that you can visit of all different shapes and sizes. That's pretty much always on the list, but even when I've tried to get in there as early as possible, it's always slots have gone. I don't know how many slots they have, and they encourage you to not just turn up. You know, if you only go if you get a ticket, which they have their own kind of booking portal. So yeah, maybe one day. It just looks a wonderful house. I mean, obviously you can see it on Street View. You can get a kind of an aerial appreciation for it, and you can stand outside it. Really, no law against you standing on public property to just view a property. So that might be something to consider. So yeah, Peter Cushing, interesting one, because obviously he was a fantastic one of our main people, wasn't he? Main performers. Roke Secondary 66-68, lived in Valley View Gardens. Norman Vaughn opened Purley Library around 1965. Well, I didn't know that. I remember Norman Vaughn, didn't he host some of these sort of Saturday night quiz shows, ITV or BBC maybe? Yeah, so I remember Norman Vaughn, unless it's Norman Wisdom. So yeah, 9-hole golf course, par 5 used to land his light aircraft. And when we were there, he had a new chopper parked in the garden, not a rally chopper. Show me age. When are you going to West Wickham? Well, I don't know yet, I'm afraid. What I need to do is to start my research. I tried something new this time, and I might repeat it. So I produce the Ordnance Survey map for the route that I'm going to take. And in there you can add waypoints, and you can put a description against the waypoints. So it just kind of breaks the journey down, and if you're following the route, you can see how far you are from one to the next. And I thought that's a way of me obviously helping myself when I'm going through, and kind of, that's my script, if you like. Breaks it down into sort of digestible chunks. But also when I share that map online, the link is always in the description, then you should be able to download all what I've done. So if you wanted to then repeat it, you've got all those kind of reference points, or tell your friends, share them. So well, where are we going? So West Wickham, definitely going to happen, hopefully sooner rather than later. And as I say, now I'm not doing any more talks and stuff like that, then hopefully sooner. A book that tells you every name who died in the war from Croydon and surrounding areas. Must dig it out. Yes, please. Yeah, that'd be interesting. He did the Roses advert. Who did the Roses advert? Norman Vaughn or Peter Cushing? We're getting our stars mixed up. Palladium. Walk around Wandle or Purley Way, or isn't there enough history? Paul, my probably so far the most that I've done around there would be my video on historic Croydon Airport, which has been very popular. One of my I almost meant to say one of my big sellers, but it's had, I don't know, I haven't looked for a while, but it had about 40,000 views or something last time I looked. And I'm not I'm not in it. I mean, I filmed it, edited it, put it together. Ian Walker, a very good friend of mine now, he told the story basically, and I filmed him. But so that's Croydon Airport, covers some of the Wandle area. When I do the water history, that also includes Wandle, because that was one of the pumping stations. But I've not really done too much outside of that. And again, maybe if we do something over the Wandle area, that will kind of join some of those dots. But I think there is a lot of history. I think I did a short video on the Bourgeois factory, lovely Art Deco factory on Purley Way. Also the Bowwaters, was it? Another one, which I haven't done in video. But so there's actually some really nice history to elements of Purley Way. I don't know how many of the buildings are still there, but there might be something. Maybe we could do a bit of a kind of a factory special or something. I'm just throwing that in there. Reach for the Sky, partly filmed at Kennley, correct. You see the entrance building there, and also when he played cricket, there's a sequence before he had his accident where he's playing cricket. He was a very, very good sportsman in his early years, very competitive, but the cricket sequence is filmed at the Dobbin down in Whiteleaf, so that's all good to see. Showing my age. There we go. Sunday night they played in with a revolving stage at the end. Okay. Winter Flight filmed there in 84.5. Okay, I wasn't aware of that one. Norman did the Roses. I don't remember that. Anyway. Once did a gig with Terry Pratchett at Enfield Town Hall. Very low down the bill. I need to look you up, John. John Paul 100. Great to see. Where did Bill Nye live? He went to John Fisher in Purley. And he's related to a guy who lives around the corner, who's kind of distant-ish related to me, Bill Nye. So, and he's a big Palace fan as well. So that's cool. Hubby's nan was working at Bourgeois when it got bombed. Wow. That's why I kind of think, because you've got Imperial Way, you've got Purley Way, and other probably connecting roads there. That's where, I mentioned the grid maps earlier. Probably one of the things I'm going to do tonight, because I get fired up with these things, you see, and I just immediately go into research and forget domestic things around the house. Although I'm going to watch Spring Watch because I like that. But yeah, so maybe that'll be a good indicator of what was there. If it was there in the 50s, then it's probably pretty well known. Pains, yeah. Yeah, so it could become a series. Again, I might break that one down a bit and just kind of pick out some of them. I'd never really thought too much of series. I mean, I've done parts 1 and 2 of some places. I never rule out doing more, but I don't really structure it as such. I almost think I'll go out. I get to the point where I just think I've got to go out and film this. I just want to do it and get the content turned around. But maybe I could just do a bit more of a series kind of thing going. So that's good. Parents had a shop at 108 High Street, which is a village school. Pictures and some research done. Yes, always up for any research content. If email's easiest, phil@philswallow.com would be wonderful. Thank you very much. And basically, just to highlight, I've got this little link thing on the side. It's the wrong arm. Where are we? There. All my links, all my contacts, everything is all on there. So, Caterham, that was a reply to Bill Nye. Okay, right. So you're nearby, wasn't he? Nearby, Nye. Work at Bourgeois for about a year in the early 90s, often walked through the factory estate as it was known. Yeah, of course, industry's changed a lot. I mean, many buildings are still there. We don't seem to manufacture very much nowadays in the Western world, but that's I quite like the idea of that. But I'll have to book a holiday first before I keep going out and filming. sneaking out. Michael Holiday once served my nan in Surrey Street back in the 50s as a promotional guest. Michael Holiday, I need a connection. Michael Holiday. Guest on a fruit and veg stall. Okay. John Surtees. Oh, okay. Didn't realise that. And who was that union rep who used to live around the corner in Falconwood? Oh, back in the 70s. Old maps, hidden history is amazing. I love maps. Love them. Tom Cruise's daughter is just around the corner, apparently. That was discussed on a previous one. Tom Cruise connection. Yeah. Opposite mark. John Surtees, great subject. Yeah, I've been involved in helping a very good family friend put together a book on racing drivers. He was the go-to photographer, Michael Hewett, based in Caterham, go-to photographer for Monaco back in the day, and some of the stories there and some of the photographs are amazing. So 50s crooner, thank you. Payne's Poppets. Was I right in thinking that you could smell the kind of, the manufacturing process when you went by? That kind of roasting type of smell. Hopefully it wasn't just me or in my head, but I seem to recall that. Payne's Poppets factory. That was a really nice building as well. I'd love to see some old photos of that. Really, all of these, it's like some of those big, is it the Hoover building or one of them on the M4 or A4 West London? There's a whole kind of load of them. And actually there might still be some remaining in the East End of London, Silvertown and those sort of areas. These big grand structures. They knew how to build in those days. Palace Green off Featherbed Lane. Right, okay. Right, well, you could smell it. Brilliant. And it was an Art Deco building. Yeah, I seem to recall. I'm now going to have to try and find photos of that. I'm easily distracted when it might lead to something that I can then create a story around. That's how I justify it. So, well, I will close things down, I think, now. It's been great fun. It's been a mad month. It really has. But I don't rule out just doing one of the informal ones again, where it'll probably be like a midweek evening. So these, I call these the more scripted ones. I put them out on audio, but I might just sometimes jump on and we'll have a chat. So if you've got your notifications on, you'll know when I might go live again. So Payne's also made coffee. Oh well, that might also feed into the smell. So good. Right. So I'll try and type again. As I say thank you. Yes, thank you all for joining in. It's been absolutely wonderful. I love doing these. I just got cramp in my leg. It's just just chatting. I mean, there's an element of scripting, obviously, and planning and researching and all that stuff that I do. It's kind of almost business-like, but not, because I don't do that anymore. But yes, I like doing these as well, because it's a way where we can just have a bit more two-way, So a mini from the dealership. I think I went into that dealership once. Oh, wow. Well, I think we have to wish you a happy 70th birthday, Rocky Valentino. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Many happy returns, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of the day celebrating, and in whatever else you might be doing to celebrate your birthday. You could smell the Payne's factory on Modern Estate. Unfortunately, also the sewage works at times. Marvellous. Still on 5 likes. Yeah, keep liking. Like, please, before you leave. Like. Thank you, Howard. Thanks, Jeff. Really appreciate that. Thanks, Carol. And we've even got thanks for Ramsey. Look at this. Great stream, great people. Really enjoyed it. Like, share, and subscribe. Yeah, do all those things that they always say you should do. 19 likes we've got. Look at that. I don't know, something not refreshing. I've got 18 on my little window here. But, yeah. Lovely. And a happy birthday to Rocky. That's really wonderful. Good. Yeah, I mean, I was pre-advised of a birthday for one of my lovely people. So I'll always do a shout out. If there's a birthday, just let me know. Always do a shout out. And then it stays on here in time, on time, forever. 23, they're going up. Right. Okay. Thank you all. I'm going to sign off now. Lovely. Brilliant. Great to hear from you. Next month, it'll be back to a normal surround, promoting my history stuff, my usual kind of word background. What do they call it? A word cloud. I created one of those, and it'll be that. So more history stuff, and because it'll be close season for football. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, cheers all. Bye bye.